All right. Boy, it would do that to me. It would do that to me while I'm cutting. So I'm gonna only made a half an hour today. That's it. I bet you as soon as I'm gonna go home, the sun's gonna come out and whatever. But everything's gonna be. It's just you can barely see the drizzle, but it's just enough to make it wet enough that if you cut any more, the grass you're gonna clog up the mower and all that stuff. See, just drop, 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 drop. How dare they? You've stolen my dreams, my grass cutting dreams. You've wrecked my adult childhood. You've whatever. Anyway. Oh, my door's not closed? Me driving with a door that flies open. Could you imagine? Could you imagine something like that? Could you imagine me having a vehicle where the door flies open while you're driving? The question is, how many vehicles have I had like that? I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. But it will bring me to my topic. And, oh man, that's... Oh, no wonder Dad's got the heat on. Is it? Oh no, it's all that. Man, it's hot in this little truck. Oh, I got my sweater on. It's such a weird day. Such a weird day. Hot, cold, like, make up your freaking mind. Make up your freaking mind. But I got recycling garbage bags for my pop bottles and stuff. I got lots. They're 50 cents a bag. I bought 5 of them. I'm like, they go, and she goes, I know the lady at the store there. I know her pretty well. I know her since she was a kid. She's like, oh yeah, and if you bring them back lots, you know, I give you the bags for free. You know, I said, careful what you wish for. You know, I said, I got lots. But it's quicker to do it that way than it is to put it in the machine. Like when I have my own truck running and everything, I don't mind putting the pop cans in the machine, whatever, as tedious as it is. But if you can just put them in the bag, fill it to the line, you know, just take it. A lot of crap on the road right there. I don't know what happened there. So, anyway, today's topic is successful failure 101, and how a lot of people right now are going through. Like I'm way ahead of everybody from this economic crash thing. Like when we hit the peak of the economic crash, I'm going to be like freaking completely homeless and whatever, you know. I'll probably, because I'm already halfway there, you know what I mean. And again, I going with the devil's rejects philosophy of I keep my standards low so I'm never disappointed. I'm one of those guys, and I'm not a pessimistic person. That's the bizarre part. But my stoicism gives me a dose of reality, saying that, you know what, guaranteed, if you drive an old vehicle, it's going to break down before you expect it to, right? You're never going to make it past the finish line without problems, right? And I expect that. I just expect it. Just, you know, so when things break down on me, yeah, it bums me out. The first few times it happens to you, you're pissed off. My vehicle broke. You know, it's like the end of the world, right? The first time. The second time, you're upset, but you're not as upset. The 15th or 20th time, you're like, well, it's par for the course, you know? Just don't stress about it. Just, okay, what's the routine? Okay? And we're in a world right now where people can't handle, especially people that have had things going well for a long time. Meaning, the things that they didn't think were going good is all trivial now. When they hit real problems, right? Real world problems. Kind of like you live in the first world and your mom and dad don't buy you a car for your 16th birthday. Okay, that's a problem, right? But then your mom and dad lose their jobs and you end up homeless. Suddenly you don't care about that car you didn't get for your 16th birthday. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, and it's levels. Okay, so you ended up homeless, okay, and now it's like, okay, your mom and dad are struggling or whatever, and they're working, whatever, but now there's bombs raining on your head from a foreign country. Okay, total new ball game, isn't it? So you have to always think of life as in relative to what. So my buddy asked me, hey, do you like this kind of work? In relative to what? You know, like, I mean, bust my back doing this, bust my back doing that is, you know, like, if it's going to put me in an early grave, you know, You know, it's like shit stinks, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't care. It's just, it is what it is. So I'm willing to work, you know, whether I like it or not. Okay, fine. If I don't like the work, I try to make the best of it. Hence why I name my tools and stuff like that. It makes the job a little bit more tolerable when you have fun with it, right? And you have to do that. You have to do that, because there's guys that, you know, there's guys that nothing shakes them whatsoever. And then there's guys that every little thing is you know, like just the end of the world, right? And that melodramatic kind of, you know, nothing's going right, blah, blah, it's every day is the worst day type of thing. I try not to be that person as much as possible, just because you know, I have a hard enough time standing myself as it is. I don't want to make myself any more annoying, right? So, let alone annoy other people. So, in relative to what? So, for me, when things get hard, I go into planning mode, right? And the worst part of my plan is that other people don't normally understand why I do things the way I do things. You know, from the outside looking in, just do this, just do that, and everything will be fine, and you know, save yourself all the trouble. But it never works like that, because I've already tried that, right? Hence, successful failure. Meaning, you know, like for example, with my truck broke. Well, Reg, just put it in the shop. The sooner you get that truck fixed, the sooner you know, you get rolling again. You'll be making money again. But it doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. If it did, everybody with a used vehicle would be fine, right? It doesn't work like that. No, it's not how it works at all. It's like you lose the vehicle for a bit, right? Which is a pain in the ass. But then you band-aid it. And then 3 weeks later, something else goes. And then something else goes. So my approach is, you know what? Write it off and then deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, write it off, build up a bit of capital, and then deal with what you got to. Okay, if I have to put $8,000 into my truck to make it flawless, I'm willing to do that. Sure. How long is it going to take me to make $8,000? You know what I mean? Like that's the question, right? So the way I'm looking at it, okay, my truck's broke now. Okay, it took me 3 years to save up to be able to buy the truck, but I've had to buy a vehicle every year for the past 4 years, pretty much 3 or 4 years, right? And that in itself, okay, keeps me vehicle poor. So there's no quick fix here. You know, I don't want to buy another stopgap vehicle, and I can't afford a new vehicle. So for me, I know my vehicle is going to fail. I know it's not going to cost $50 to fix it. You know what I mean? Just to get it to the mechanic is going to cost me about $500 to $1,000, depending on what the mechanic finds, right? I mean, I have, like most people say, okay, well, here's the problem of the vehicle. Just go get that fixed, right? But what I don't know is, okay, that vehicle broke a certain way. I won't go into the details of what my truck's doing. There's enough videos on here on you know, about why my truck, you know, what my truck's doing and everything like that, right? And it runs really rough periodically. It's not consistent. It runs fine for 2 months, and then all of a sudden it goes like on a daily basis where you can barely get the thing home with the four-ways on. You know what I mean? It's completely unpredictable. So is it a wiring problem? Is it the you know, like, I have to test every system in the truck, whether it needs it or not. Oh, but that's a waste of money, you know, put your money. No, because that problem could be related to a fucking wire on the tail light. You know what I mean? You have to test everything. And I start with compression check. Is the engine, maybe I got a busted valve spring. You know what I mean? That's busted just enough to work, but works periodically. You know, I got to rule out the mechanical angle and then go to the sensors and then go, you know what I mean? So I have to test all that. And that might cost me $700 to $1,000. So I'm looking probably with the towing, unless I get a mobile mechanic that can do it in a day, I'll have to talk to some guys, say, look, I want to test every system on the vehicle, you know, to see that, you know, well, maybe it's like, hey, your problem's actually not related to what you think it is, because according to the code reader, oh, he's got a load of wood. That's pretty much all him and his dad do is wood. Good for him. You should have seen him build his business, man. He started with like a nothing, you know, and like that's like 5 years ago. Now he's got like a, you know, a 2500 series or a 3500 series truck. He's got that trailer just hauling 4 cord at a time. You know, good for him. You know what I mean? And I'm working there. You know, like I'm getting there. You know, I did rack up quite a bit of tools this year. I lost the new whippersnipper is kind of like down for the count right now, but it might not be a write-off. It might be a write-off. Maybe the thing's done. But I ended up with 3 chainsaws, 2 whippersnippers, a brush cutter, which, you know, some of the stuff I have to reinvest in, right? But I bought new equipment and it broke down. You don't expect new equipment to break down, right? You buy a brand new vehicle, you expect it to run for, you know, 5-6 years headache free, at least, right? Other than just regular maintenance. You don't expect it to break down in 2 months. And I know people that, you know, they buy a brand new vehicle, all their money is going into this new vehicle and it broke down and they have no backup. So a guy like me, I'd rather have 2 kind of like, you know, wonder buckets, time bomb vehicles that, okay, that are cheap. And, you know, the gamble is, can they last long enough to buy the 3rd wonder bucket? You know what I mean? And if it does, then you have enough time to fix one vehicle before the next one breaks. And that's kind of what I want to do with the trucks. I don't want to have, like, I'd like to have a little car just for the runabout to keep it cheap, you know. But on the other hand, I don't want to be driving around, you know, with time bombs all the time either, right? So I need maybe 2 cheap vehicles to get me to that really good vehicle.